Recently, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders took the time to call out what he is referring to as the Do-Nothing Senate for allowing American citizens to continue to suffer in the middle of both a pandemic and an economic recession. Bernie Sanders took to Twitter the other day to call them out, and he said, "The American people can't afford to wait any longer. Every working class American needs $2,000 a month. Every unemployed American needs $600 a week. Every American needs health care as a human right. No one in America should go hungry or homeless. The Do-Nothing Senate must act." Bernie Sanders, as we all know, is one of the few people in the U.S. Senate that has clearly, from day one, been working to actually better the lives of the average American and not just the lives of the top 1%. In fact, that is what he's known for, calling out the top 1%. But here's the thing. He is still 100% correct about this. And sure, this do-nothing Senate is mostly the Republicans. And they are the ones who are responsible, Mitch McConnell especially, for holding up every piece of relief legislation that has come through since the CARES Act was passed 8 months ago. The House has sent over plenty of bills. They sit there. Nothing happens. Nancy Pelosi, to her credit, has been working with Steve Mnuchin, to his credit, on these relief bills. Now, they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, they're filled with disgusting corporate giveaways of our tax dollars. But sometimes we have to take the bad with the little bit of good. Because people are suffering right now. You know, we've seen the photographs and the videos of the food lines forming in Texas. We have seen the statistics. 1 in 10 people in this country don't have food. Millions of people are set to lose their extended unemployment benefits the day after Christmas, December 26th. Those expire. The eviction moratorium once again evaporates on December 31st, so New Year's Day. Millions of people face eviction. Millions still without jobs. They're not coming back as quickly anymore because we're seeing the massive second wave take hold here in the United States. The only way we can fix this, the only way we can solve this crisis is to give people money, the working class money. And if you think that sounds extreme, if you say, oh my God, that's socialism, that's horrible, it'll destroy this country. Literally, every other developed nation is doing this. Not literally. That's an overstatement. That was hyperbole. I apologize for that. Most countries are doing this. Look over in Europe. Most of them are doing this. Look up to Canada. They are doing this. They are paying people anywhere between $1,500, I'm talking about Canada and Europe, $1,500 to a little over $2,000 a month during this pandemic so that people can't afford to stay home, so that their economies don't hit rock bottom like what's happening here in the United States. These are also countries that have universal health care. A lot of them have tuition-free public college. All of those things that we're told here in America, well, we just can't do them. We can't do it. We have more money, more income than any of those countries. In fact, probably than most of those countries combined. But nope, we can't do it. No, that's socialism, and we're not going to do that. We have to spend $740 billion a year on our military so we can go fight wars we shouldn't be involved in anyway and go kill people who've done nothing wrong. That's what we're spending our money on. That's why we're not helping American citizens, and Bernie Sanders is always the first person to call that out. We need more Bernie Sanders in the Senate. And there's a few more. There's a couple, not quite what he is. We're getting more in the House. I think AOC is definitely one of those people. I think Rashida Tlaib is one of those people. I think Ayanna Pressley is. I think every member of the squad is at this point. They are true fighters for the American public. And what's crazy about this, and Ilhan Omar, I left her out, but she is too. But all of these people are viewed as radical extremists. Why? Honestly, ask yourself, why are these people viewed as extremists? What are they proposing that is so out of left field as to be considered irrational? All they're doing is proposing the same exact thing that other countries are doing. Give people $2,000 a month during the pandemic. give them government-funded health care. Let them go to college without coming out with a bachelor's degree and $60,000 worth of debt. That's not extreme. That's not crazy. That's not even socialism. That's what every other country, who, by the way, rank themselves as happier than we do here in the United States, that's what they're all doing and have been for quite some time. And yet we here in the United States have had it beaten into our brains so much, mostly by Republicans, that if we give this up, if we give up our for-profit healthcare system, if we let the government send us $2,000 a month, you've given up your freedom. You have given up your freedom. America's only about freedom. That's the only ideal we have. Now, freedom is a concept that has been obscured over years and years and years and years by Republicans, by greedy politicians who have nothing else to talk about. They can't talk about the issues, so they talk about the obscure, the abstract, the freedoms. You're not granted any of this stuff by the Constitution, by the way. No, it's not a freedom. You are not free to get price gouged by greedy pharmaceutical companies. Capitalism did that. By the way, capitalism also not mentioned in the Constitution, in case you were wondering. It's not out of the realm of possibility, and it certainly isn't a radical idea to take care of the American public. And I think it's absurd that people like Bernie Sanders are viewed as extremists for calling for that. Isn't that what the federal government is supposed to do? Isn't that what we should want them to be doing? Isn't that what we need the government to do? Isn't that why a government would exist in the first place? To protect the people. When you boil it down to its very most basic tenet, isn't that what the government's supposed to be? An entity elected by the people to protect the people. That's it. That's the bottom line. That is their ultimate goal, to keep us safe. Whether it's safe from recessions, safe from pandemics, safe from outside threats, but the outside threats is the only thing they want to keep us safe from. That's all they want to focus on. Like, hey, we know we're getting ravaged by a virus. We know we've got so many dead people in Texas, the National Guard had to be called in to help sort the bodies. But hey, we're not having any terrorist attacks here, so we must be winning, right? Oh, by the way, sorry millions of you lost your jobs because our capitalist economy was built upon straw and it just all came crashing to the ground. Yeah, oops, our bad. But hey, those horrible people over in the Middle East, they're not coming to attack us again because we spent $740 billion a year making sure that doesn't happen. Sorry you don't have health care. Sorry you can't afford to go to college. Sorry you don't have all of those good and wonderful things that the other countries have, but we've got to keep feeding our military-industrial complex, so you just have to deal with it. If more politicians spoke out against it, we could have real change in this country. But unfortunately, it's now relegated to a handful of individuals who genuinely care about the public. And for caring about the public, they're viewed as extremists.